to check in. Yeah, welcome everyone. It's 5-day Agentic AI challenge, led by me. So AI Camp is a global developers community with 400 plus AI developers in 150 countries. We empower every developer to learn and practice AI from anywhere at any time. We have local community chapters. We're located in our hubs are North America, San Francisco, Boston, NYC, Chicago, Europe, London, Bangalore, everywhere. If you want to get involved, join our community builders team, submit some topics to speak. We love sponsors for meetups, food, venues, drink, prizes too. If you want to collaborate on our events, contact us at info@aicamp.ai. So the next upcoming weekly AI seminar is a 7-day challenge for building LLM applications from January 6th to 12th. And the info session looks like will be held at 12 p.m. EST. And the next one is 15-day challenge for neural networks from January 13th to 27th, 12 p.m. EST. If you can make it, I highly suggest to check this out. These are really cool too. And for all other events, you can go to aicamp.ai. Thanks to our community managers, to Sheen, Ada for helping me out right now, and Candice, who's going to be hosting the next 7-day challenge. So I highly recommend checking that out. And if you are interested in becoming community manager, you can join with this QR. Okay, I'm just going to quickly do a closing out, and then we're going to have a showcase/demo session. So I want to say thank you for joining me on this learning journey. I feel like the content was a little challenging and the coursework was also challenging, but I hope everyone gained something valuable, right? It's supposed to be a beginner level course, and it's supposed to provide you with like a general introduction to agentic AI, and it should clarify the misconception of like classical agents versus LLM agents, which are the agentic AI. The next steps would be, I would recommend continuing following the tutorials and building projects. This link right here is mostly for function calling. If you got to the part in the course where the instructor is teaching you how to do function calls after the React prompting, you should check this out. Also, this course is designed to prepare you for more intermediate level agentic AI course that will be happening soon as well. Yeah, that's mostly it. What areas did you find the most challenging, or where did you struggle the most? We can start sharing out. And I just wanted to go over the function calling after we have our share outs. So, and also shout out to everyone for asking and engaging with the content. I love seeing a lot of questions in Discord, and I love answering a lot of the questions. They were really good questions, and I also learned that people were reading the papers and engaging with the content, so that's really great. If you want to share out, let's check out what you have shared. The time is now. Okay. And I keep this up.
Should we do a quick count on how many people are ready to share their demos or presentations?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So participants, if you can raise your hand on behalf of yourself or on behalf of your group, if you are
Ralph,
ready to share.
I think Ralph raised.
Ralph raised, yes. Anyone else after Ralph?
Yes, I can, but sorry, I didn't find where can I raise a hand, so.
Okay, Alec, Ruby, okay, yeah, sure. It's at the participant. Wait, hold on. Is it the participants? Okay, so then the first one will be Rob, the second one is Alec. And then the third one can be Ruthie. Anyone else? Any volunteers?
So far we have 2.
So far we have three. We have 3.
Okay.
It is not mandatory, it's just voluntary to show your work and your learning. So we're looking for volunteers. It's not mandatory.
Cool. Guess we can start sharing out. Ralph Morales 3, would you like to get us started?
Sure.
Chef, you have to stop share first.
Oh,
And then Chushin, you have the slides, so do you want to bring those up and then flip them over, or I can
share. You can share, you can control it.
give me a sec. So many tabs.
I know.
So many tabs. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's find it. There we go. So that's the tab, and then Zoom, share this one. Share. Okay. Hey, and Swapnil, are you there?
Yes, Ralph, standing
All
by.
right. Okay, so let's see. First off, first off, thank you, Rashiv and the community administrators Ada and Chushin. So we kind of read the materials on day 1, and the goal was kind of figure out what was a use case we could rally around that would make a compelling agent with multiple steps, not just an LLM. And so to that end, we started to form a team because we had different levels of skill sets and capabilities and backgrounds and all that other stuff. And so this is the team. Shout out to Mark and Michael and Henry and Robert. And I already mentioned Swapnil's going to do the sharing from his side with regards to the LLM. So let's talk about the use case. So has anybody ever gone to an event before and done networking and come back with like a bunch of these? And maybe you also had some LinkedIn connections on here, and you might have even had some paper. So the goal of doing all this is you gather all these cards so that you can follow up and either figure out, is there a connection point for a job? Is there a connection point for some opportunity for work? Or maybe some consulting, something that's going to yield to some personal cash flow. And it's difficult if you have a full-time job to follow up on all of these. Like if you went to an event like Health or CES or DevCon, you might get hundreds of these. And so you can only follow up with so many, and so it decreases the probability. So the question was, could we build an agent that did all those tasks of like figuring out who I met with, what was the point of interaction, what do we have in common? Because if we can write a message to someone that has something in common, it increases the probability of a response, which increases the chance of an engagement, which increases the chance of maybe yielding some work. And so we set out to basically build a networking agent that could intake input about the user and the contact and the event, and then formulate some messages that would go through LinkedIn and through email to prompt a response. So our first day 0, was about storming, forming, and norming. We basically brainstormed a bunch of ideas for things we could do, consolidated on this idea of a networking agent, and then asked the question like, what if an agent could gather all this information, write the emails, and send it to the person of interest. And so then we kind of broke that down into like, what are the main steps of all that? And what would it need to be able to do? And then we went into builder mode. right? So one, I think there's this thing over on the right is we broke it down into chunks. So we're a team, it's 5 days, and it would take a lot for one person to achieve all the different steps of this. So we broke it down into parts. And this is kind of hard to see in the thing, but the first part is, have an agent do a task, which is to fetch who I am from LinkedIn and who the contact is from LinkedIn, gather their raw data. The second step is to go get data about the event. And we kind of aligned as a team on what's the data format. And there was a lot of great work done in using, and I haven't fully caffeinated this morning. There's some construct, pedantic. Well, we aligned on using pedantic structures so that the data format of what we were receiving would be consistent in terms of how it was handled from task to task by the agent. So step 2 is gather information about the event. Step 3 is a similarities engine where you look at the two files and the event and you try and find out what's the most recent thing these two people have in common, whether it's their education or their job role or somebody they both might know. And then third is compose an introduction. And in the case of LinkedIn, there's a constraint of 300 characters. And in the case of an email, you have a little bit more liberty to embellish some of the skills or something you might have in common. And then the last step was, basically trigger an API to write an email and compose the LinkedIn and send it. We did discuss maybe inserting a control mechanism. So instead of having the agent just autopilot through and send whatever it came up with, maybe it says, here's what I'm about to do. Would you like me to proceed? So this would be a great point right before sending the messages to kind of have a user oversight what the agent had written before it sends. That way you don't create a professional connection that might be inappropriate. And then the hope was that, hey, you build more professional connections and hopefully it increases the probability of some type of opportunity. So that's the basic workflow of how this worked. And I'll hand it over to Swapnil to kind of talk through the structure and the processing that we constructed for the agent. So Swapnil, I hand it over to you.
Yeah.
Stop sharing. I'll stop sharing. That's it right there. There you go.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Swapnil Chhatre, and I will be giving a quick demo of this networking agent. So I've pulled our code into IDX environment, which we have been using. And so let me give you all a quick walkthrough of some essential code which we have developed. So this is the main py file, which is the entry point for our application. And we are using Crew AI library, which was suggested as part of the resources as part of the study plan. So we are using Crew AI, and we went through the Crew AI course. We found it very easy to understand, and this library provides a very good number of classes, functions, which can be used to design multi-agent systems. So yeah, we had some good experience with Crew AI library, and so as I mentioned, this is the main file, and we are using OpenAI's GPT-4o mini model. It's a rather new model with a strong performance, and it has proved to be very efficient. So as Ralph mentioned, we have a few inputs which we have to give to the model. So there is my LinkedIn URL. So let's say I'm the person who wants to make the applications or the connections. So this is where we'll input my URL. Then the contact person, the one with whom I want to connect. So we have to add his or her contact profile here. And we also have to add the events URL. So let's say we met virtually at AI Camp's study challenge. So we can add that. Or we met at Google I/O event. So we can add that. URL as well. Then we invoke this method, which is the crew method, along with these inputs. So another main file is the crew.py file, which we are using. This is where we have assembled all the agents. So we have 5 agents, out of which 2 are scraper agents, which are used for scraping all the entire profile from LinkedIn. So we have one for my profile, one for the contacts profile. Then we have event researcher, the one which will go to the events page and get all the information. Then we have profile analyzer. So as Ralph mentioned, so we need to find some similarities between my profile and the contacts profile in order to make a custom LinkedIn message or a custom mail. So this is what the profile analyzer agent is used for. And then we have a message formatter, which will get those similarities and create a message. So right now we are saving those messages in a markdown file. So this is the message folder right here, where a markdown file will be generated. And from there, you can just copy paste that message in LinkedIn. So these are the 5 agents. Then come the 5 tasks. So each agent has its own corresponding task. Uh, and at the end, this is where we are creating a crew with all the agents and all the tasks which will run in a sequential manner. So this is where the configurations are defined. So for every agent comes a role, a goal, what we want them to do, and a backstory, which is the extra prompt which we provide to the agent. So we have 5 agents and we have 5 tasks. So this every task has its own description and what the expected output is, which we want from the agent. So let's run one. All right. So before running, for now, we are using random data. So ideally, we should be able to add LinkedIn's URLs. But LinkedIn has a good amount of security limitations and access requirements. So if we want to scrape LinkedIn profiles, we need to have a more professional collaboration with LinkedIn. We need to have our developer account. We need to submit this use case to LinkedIn in order from them to approve it. And once they approve it, that's when we can access those APIs directly. So we don't have that kind of collaboration at the time, but Ralph has promised that he's going to get us those APIs. So once we have those APIs, we can use it directly. Another workaround which we can do with LLM models is LLM models have multi-model capabilities nowadays. So we can use PDFs for scraping or rather for getting user information. So let's say we get the entire LinkedIn profile of a person in a PDF format, then the LLM model can actually go through that PDF and get all the necessary information, which is education, experience, everything. So that is also one workaround possible. But obviously, the API approach is a neater approach. And yeah, we are looking forward to it. So for now, let's go with random data. So for random data, we have another file, which is a LinkedIn tool. And here we have added some random data, which are first names, last names, positions, and everything. So right now, the code will get one value from each of these arrays, and it will create a completely random profile, which will obviously for both the people. So for my profile and for the contacts profile, it will create two random profiles from this data, and it will find the similarities, and the the remaining process is the same. So let's run it. So the command is crew AI run. It takes around half a minute to 45 seconds, I guess, to run the entire thing. And it's a sequential process. It goes from one agent to another. Yeah, so till it's running, yeah, even I would like to thank all the administrators and organizers of this challenge. And it was a great experience for me. I met a bunch of good people, everyone from the team, Ralph, Shashin, Ada, Robert, Mark, and I'm definitely looking forward to work with all of you in the future. Okay, so we have started getting some output.
Maybe stretch up the output window.
Oh yeah, yeah. Done. So this is the markdown file created. Yeah. So we have a customized LinkedIn message at the top, and we also have a follow-up email draft. So we have placeholders here, so you can just replace the person's name and add that information manually. We also have some key talking points. So once you connect with the person, you can discuss on these topics. So these are all the similarities which the model found. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll hand it over back to Ralph. Thank you.
Yeah, not much to say. There's definitely room. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but kudos to the team. Yeah, it was. We talk about challenges like we ran into. Obviously, if you're going to start pulling data from LinkedIn, you're talking about there's a policy limitation, rightfully so, and we talked about that as a team. Like, why do they do that? And then it's as a business person, you can understand why they do that. And then when you start thinking about like, okay, well, we still want that data. How are we going to get it? You're left with the classic challenge in engineering, which is like, all right, do we change the input modality so the user has to do PDFs, which means they have to do a print, and like the user experience gets a little bit ugly. Or, we found some third-party tools, but then you have to register for those tools, you have to pay for those tools. Like, so the workarounds then create more work. And in a 5-day challenge, we were just like, all right, let's just use dummy data. There's lots of places we could upgrade this, right? Besides doing multimodal, instead of just saying paste in a URL, you could just say, hey, I'm Ralph. I just met Rajiv at the AI camp. Can you send him a LinkedIn connection? And just talk and have a text to them. We talked about business cards, like take a picture of the business card and extract the data from the business card would be another upgrade. Michael had a brilliant one, which is most of what LinkedIn scrapes up from your main web page is all your background data and history. But your posts, that's more recent content. And so if we could create an agent that could go in and look at the posts that you'd made, then if we looked at my posts and the other person's posts, you could find a higher degree of similarity using more recent content. So there's a lot of different things we could do to kind of upgrade the user experience and make it more robust. But that was kind of where we ended. So that's our team, the AI tribe, formerly known as the Pink Butterflies. Anyway, it was fun working with everybody.
Awesome, guys. That was really great demo. Thanks for sharing that. Really enjoyed how you guys work with LinkedIn and solve like a real world problem with the use of LinkedIn API. Even you guys had to use static data. That was really cool. All right, I think there are some other folks who want to share out.
Ruby, right? Ruby, are you ready? If you're ready, you can share. And
Can, can you just ask a quick question about?
sure.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was just curious as to what was the reason for selecting Crew.ai as the implementation, I guess, framework of choice as opposed to other frameworks?
Swapnil, can you answer that?
Yeah, so there wasn't a specific reason, but so as I mentioned, it's one of the resources which was suggested as part of the study group. And so Mark initiated using Crew AI, and even I think even A9 Sushin went through the course. And we found it really easy to use. So they have concise or precisely defined functions where you can add agents and add tasks. So we found it easy to use, and yeah, so even we'll eventually explore into other tools as well. But for the time being, this seemed to be a good option.
I see. So you didn't kind of actively compare it with like other options like LangGraph or something like that. You just jumped into Crew.ai.
Yeah, we just jumped into it. So as I mentioned, from the looks of it, it was quite easy to understand. And yeah, that's why when we went forward with it. But yeah, when it comes to scaling an application, we have to have a comparison with other uh, libraries and everything. But that's a question for the future.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Just one added benefit, at least of Crew AI. I did not look at all the others. If you have some experience with others, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. The thing I liked about Crew AI though was that it really broke the problem down in terms of the problem definition and didn't get you caught up in the coding piece of it. And so it allowed you to really focus on, at least in my opinion, what the important thing was.
I see.
Alex, Ruby is not ready yet. So, are you ready? If you're ready, you can start sharing and unmute yourself.
Okay, so it looks like the first presentation was very wonderful, and because of it, we are now hesitating about what we can present. But let me try, of course, because my project is much smaller than Pref One because I was only one person in the team. It's because in my location there weren't any person that was ready to collaborate. So let me try to share. And sorry, I don't have so beautiful presentation as the previous speaker. So let me
Hey,
try
that's
to
okay.
share. Mm,
Yeah, it's awesome. 100x programmer, here it comes.
yeah. I'm exactly the programmer, so I'm not a manager, so not a presenter. So, oops, it looks like my Mac asks me to rejoin. Let me quickly rejoin because I cannot share my screen because of security settings. So I didn't use Zoom before. 1 minute, I will reconnect. Sorry.
Okay.
While we were waiting, did anybody have any other experiences with some of the other frameworks that they wanted to say anything about for us all to learn from you guys?
Yeah, I was curious about the same thing, like if anybody had, or or maybe the organizers, like how would LangGraph, for example, compare with Crew.ai or some other framework?
I think someone mentioned that Crew AI just small chunks the problems. And I think that's a good use case of it. I don't know if people try like function calling after the React prompting. That's also a good use case for the agentic AI. The benefit is that LangGraph has it's almost like a no code platform, so you can like drag and drop like system architecture and like see solve a problem. So I think that's really good use case. But I really go with the Crew AI because the documentation is great.
Mhm. I see.
And as developers, we hate terrible documentation. So clear documentation makes things easier.
What? I've never heard that. I thought developers went into development for documentation.
Exactly.
I think you're an outlier. I don't think you're representing.
Hello?
Hey, Alex.
Hello. Sorry for delay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, my idea is a bit smaller, but I hope it's useful. So because of the idea was created for me by my dentist. So about 2 years or 5 years ago, yeah, yes, so sometimes it happens. He asked me to write. He understood that I am a program software engineer, and he asked me to prepare some kind of utility to make an appointment make an appointment for him and for people like him. So he works alone, and sometimes people calling him and trying to ask for an appointment. But in this time, he is treating somebody, so he cannot answer. And I think this case is more widely because it could be a hairdresser who has a small business, small car services, and so on. So idea is pretty simple. So you have a Google Calendar, and you need to allow different people to try to make an appointment in your calendar. So, and because of it, I have created a small chatbot for it. So in this chatbot, I have done it in the Telegram. Why Telegram? Because I have did about 2 or 3 Telegrams bot before, and for me it's more easy to implement in so short of time because 5 days for me. One developer who has also a different job, and plus I have never heard about AI agentic agents before, so I have learned some kind of LLM models, machine learnings, but I haven't seen any agentic AI approach before. So thank you guys for organizing this course first. Because now I see it is a very powerful technology. It's like in Asimov books, like in near future we will have very clever robotics and robot psychologists as well. So, and what purpose of this bot? For example, when you started, let me clear the chat history. I start from the demonstration, from the demo. So you can press start. Now you see some kind of introduction message. So I'm AI Logistics Approach Appointments bot, and I can help you to make an appointment in this specific scenario with a dentist, because it was the original idea. And let me prepare some kind of prompts for demonstration. So, for example, you can ask, what is the closest possibility to visit a dentist? And now it's working on. And now I didn't get rid of the intermediate lock because of the reason of the demonstration, because it's much easier to understand what is going on inside while you looking for the whole log of activities. So it has three calls of the LLM, and generally it says that it's the closest available time. It is tomorrow at 12 p.m. So, and this is looks for this calendar. It is a Google Calendar. Sorry, it's the interface in Russian, but I think it's understandable. And let's try to create an appointment. So let us ask a bot to create an appointment. So, and if you're using chatbot, like for example, Telegram and possibly WhatsApp, WhatsApp knows who you are, so you don't need to enter your credentials. At least you know your, for example, user ID, and possibly a bot can ask you for a telephone number. So it's very useful. So you don't need to pull all the form about who you are, what is your contact data. You can automate it. Now I can just extract it username, like first name and last name, and a user ID because I need to write additional code to require additional mobile telephone number, but it is only for demonstration only. So, and after 3 calls, LLM creates, using my API for Google Calendar, it creates an appointment for tomorrow for 2 p.m. Let's check. It exists. Also, we can, for example, ask the bot to delete it or shift it or create a new one. But in my presentation, I prepared the case when we can try to delete it. So let me type. And afterwards, it's deleted. Let's check the Google Calendar, and now it's disappeared. So this is a quick demo. What we can do to expand it? First of all, my ideas is to share the mobile phone, but it's not complicated. I just didn't do it. And the main, I think, key feature will be to ask bot to write a user when he has an appointment, in the day when he has appointment. For example, if you made an appointment about 2 weeks ago and you can forget about it, and the doctor needs to call to all the patient and ask, are you coming or not? So bot can automate it. So bot can write to user and ask, you have today appointment, I join to the doctor, or maybe hairdresser or car service or not. So I think it could work this case. And in ideally scenario, bot can call. For example, I don't know about WhatsApp, but Telegram via the additional library supports voice calls. So bot can call to you to your Telegram account. It's free to use because you don't need a mobile, you don't have a mobile costs. It's free, it's just internet. And you can use this functionality. Also, you can use text to voice model to generate a text, to generate an audio message, or just interpret to be like a human. So bot can automatically call you and say, like via the telephone, so hello Frank, you have a dentist tomorrow in about 3 hours or something like this. Just a clever reminder. So about the code, it's pretty straightforward, but it works. So as a base, I used the same iCloned repository that was provided to us, but I of course changed it a little bit. So the main feature here are, I used the Gemini model, but not the Gemini Flash 1.5. I used the Gemini 2.0 because 1.5 it's isn't so clever to understand my prompt that I used. I didn't use function and automatical function. It was provided in the Coursera course because I thought it's more widely just to learn LLM to a whole prompt, like I have in the details. So I just made introduction for LLM about his role. Then I explained the available actions. Available actions in the API, described in the text mode necessary parameters. And also I made 2 examples of conversation of what LLM needs to do. I think the most powerful benefit of it, you can use any LLM to it. So I suppose maybe not all the LLM supports embedded functions, or maybe automatic embedded functions like ChatGPT. I don't know about Gemini from Google because I didn't look for it, but I think there are many different LLMs that can be used this way. And maybe we can, for example, launch it in our own hardware. In this case, it will be free for us. We will not have any API call limitations. So, and also I have implemented the Google Calendar service where I wrap this library for accessing to the calendar from OAuth authorization. So you need to, first of all, to configure your access to your calendar via OAuth authorization for the chatbot. And afterwards, chatbot will manage your activities in the calendar. So it has only a few methods like list events, create event, delete event, and shift event. So I think that's all.
Cool. How did you integrate that with the Telegram bot?
Telegram bot integration, it's very simple, honestly. Let me show you. This is my Python for Telegram. Usually in the Telegram, you have Telegram fuzzer chatbot where you can create a new bot. So we just need to go to Telegram, find the bot fuzzer bot, and ask him to create a new bot. It's created a new bot and provide you Telegram bot key. And afterwards, it's only a few lines of code to do it. First of all, you need to import Telegram Python libraries. It's a telebot. These 2 lines, honestly, it's required for Telegram bot. Then you need to create it, like telebot, and that paste your Telegram API key. And then it's 2 handlers. In my bot, 2 handlers, but it has many handlers, of course. First of all, it is start handler. It's when you start communication with the bot. This is the first function that will be run afterwards. Here you can prepare introduction message on and also send some kind of images, like I have in my bot. It's image with a tooth on it. So I think for user, it's nice to have an image like just text. And then you have message handler function that will be run when you type to the bot. And then what I did, I just get the message. Afterwards, I get user info like username plus user ID from the Telegram, because I instructed LLM to don't allow different user to remove appointment from anybody else, only for himself. I don't know whether it will work or not, but I hope so. So it's some kind of security here. And then this is a wrapper to call the LLM, so process user request. And here it's just to call the LLM with the user input. So it's like user credentials, I mean, not credentials. It's first name, last name, plus user ID. It's like user identifier plus name and last name, and plus what user typed in the chatbot. And it's goes to the LLM, and afterwards it's returned back to the user via the bot send message. So it's pretty simple to implement and to create, maybe about 15 minutes. If you want, I can share this my GitHub repository.
Yeah, I have a question too. First off, great job.
Thanks.
You should feel proud of that. Especially the only programmer. You pulled a lot of stuff together, so that's an amazing job. My question, and it's something that I hadn't thought about until your presentation. How difficult would it be to make this multilingual, where you might just at the very beginning tell the bot to do everything in German or do everything in English or do everything in Spanish or whatever? Would that then allow it to be multilingual, or what else would go into
It
making it?
In my view, it depends of the LLM model, because, for example, from my previous experiments with ChatGPT, you can ask ChatGPT in the different language. First,
That's
of
right.
course, English is preferable. So when
Mhm.
you communicate with ChatGPT in English, its answers is very clever and smart. But I have tried to use Russian because I'm a native Russian speaker. I think you can use German because German from the same language family. I think it won't be complicated for ChatGPT to communicate with you for example, in English. But we can
Well,
try.
I guess my
We
my
can.
question is, how would you go about doing that? Would you just say, please give me all responses back to the user in the language, or would you have to redo the whole application in that different language?
I think we can try just to communicate to the LLM on the necessary language. And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
view, it should respond to the same language. Or we can ask what I did before. I made a very big prompt to the ChatGPT and then asked, please translate me your latest response to Russian. And ChatGPT did it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So my work is independently. So from it is only what LLM was learned to do. You can just change approach what LLM you are connecting to, and then try to experiment.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job, Alex. Next person can start presenting. We only have 10 minutes.
Alex, can you stop share so that
I'm trying. I'm not so familiar with the Zoom yet. Share, stop. It looks like I posted. Here. So I stopped it. So many buttons. So where developers created so many different buttons on different locations. So sometimes it's very hard to understand where is it. It is small and red.
No, I know. Okay, Ruthvi, are you ready? We have 10 more minutes. Sorry about that.
Yes, that's fine. I'll try to be very quick. Same like Alex, I'm a single contributor here, and I haven't got chance to fully deep dive and integrate to different services, which my initial plan was, but I got too much carried away with, states and graphs and whatnot. So I'll present whatever I have, but it won't be as great as the other two presentations. But yeah, let's see. All right, so just to introduce, my name is Ruthvi Mistry, and I am a senior data engineer in the AI team for a healthcare company. And I'm a big data enthusiast. I work on creating high quality data for the team and everything. But currently, I've been going deep into Gen AI projects, and for that reason, I'm here to learn more about Agentic AI. And furthermore, I love fitness, strength, and yoga and meditation. Fitness is something that I'm very enthusiastic for, and for that reason, I created a agentic AI for a fitness and nutrition plan. If you would like to connect to me on LinkedIn, feel free to send the request. Okay, so let me quickly go over the code here. I have not used line graph. I'm using a function-based calls, a state calls that can do the communication and understand user requirement and modify the fitness plan and the meal plan as per. So I'm using different functions here, and it's through the UI. I also got carried away by creating UI. So there's some lag there, but it's a function based. So first it generates the fitness plans. It also gives the meal plan, and then it takes the feedback from the user and it adjusts the plan as per. It's basically what it's doing. My initial plan was to integrate this whole UI and have a place where users can automatically order stuff, which is my next step, which I haven't incorporated in this one, but it's my future plan. Same way, like it gives a fitness advice and gives a feedback. A user gives a feedback and it adjusts the plan it says per. So let me quickly run this code. Let me know this. If I open this, here I type my plan. I say fat loss and muscle gain, and then I say my plan is to have a high protein, and I I do my, what's my level? Let's select beginner for now. And then I click on get plan. It's a little slow. I'm using GPT for, it's not the paid one, so I have limited tokens. So let's see, once I click here, we'll see an update. Once that gets updated, we'll have a plan on the web. Okay, so this created the plan for us. It's all function based, which has a prompt that says like, give workouts first and then meal plan and whatnot. As you can see here, we see a lot of workouts and meal plans. And suppose if I say that, it gave some suggestion to use almonds. I'm saying I'm allergic to almonds. It will revise my plan as per. It's all function based. It's not something that is coming from the graph. It's all function based communication. So once that gets updated here, we'll see the plan has been updated, and you won't see the almonds being used in anywhere in the meal plan. Okay, so this got updated, and as you can see, it adjusted the plan. You won't see almonds anywhere, and it will remember this. So if I keep, spamming this feedback, it will keep remembering that, hey, I'm allergic to almonds. And it will keep remembering that. So it also preserves the history. But once I close this out, the token goes off. It won't remember. But for now, like till the time I'm talking to the agent, it will keep remembering that, hey, I'm allergic to this thing. So my next plan is to have a tab here where a user can integrate this with the Google Fit app. And also, we can also integrate with this MyFitnessPal, where we can directly get this all plans integrated into the MyFitnessPal app for 4 weeks plan, 8 weeks plan, and it will help user to get in, updated with their fitness plan and stay on track, because usually people fall back because there is no accountability. And when user sees numbers and graphs going up in their application, that's where the accountability comes in the picture. So this is where, that's my next plan to integrate. But I got too much carried away with, web development and function development that did not get me to that place. But yeah, this is my short demo. And yeah, I think I'm very thankful for this whole program, because that gave me hands-on learning a lot of line graphs and this different type of agent states and whatnot. So this gave me a lot of understanding, which I wouldn't have got. So thank you for sharing all the documentations and your updates. That really helped me. And my next step, as I mentioned, I want to integrate it with MyFitnessPal and Google Fit API to add the accountability to the users board. Thank you.
Great job, Rudby. That was really great. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
We have 3 more minutes. If anyone wants to, any questions or last words?
Nice job.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's really cool. That's really cool. The memory functions, that's super useful.
I think if all of us are okay, I can share the GitHub repo for the 3 projects in the Discords just for everyone to learn. But perhaps make sure you don't have any API keys on there first. Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you guys for doing this. I know, and other people have also expressed that they learned a lot from this, and I have too. So thank you guys.
Yeah, mahalo. This is super useful.
Yeah. Thanks, team. I think I still haven't gotten started on the project, but I need to do that over the next few days. But I think this was a good, really good thing that you put together.
Rishabh, can you go over some housekeeping at the end?
Yep. Thank you guys. That was really cool to learn from everyone's presentation. I think the housekeeping I kind of went through already, but yeah, just continue building your projects, and I guess now we're gonna have a next oh we're gonna have a next intermediate or advanced Agentic AI course after the 15-day challenge, I believe. So you guys are welcome to come and join that too. If anyone still has like issues with environment setup, I'm happy to help. We can hop on Discord and just get it fixed if you're still struggling. Next step, if you follow the tutorial in Coursera, they do have the function calling. So I linked that docs for function calling, which is pretty cool. But for Gemini, it's in beta mode, so there might be some gotchas there. But I saw some folks using OpenAI, so that was really like cool. Good job adapting to that, because there's some like issues with Gemini. Like you cannot pass an array as a message. You have to like concatenate that as a string. So just some stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And please give us some feedback, what we could improve, some constructive feedback. We'll really appreciate that. Having said that, we are closing out.
Okay, Malama. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Uh,
You
Bye bye.
guys.
Everyone.